Hello again. So let's finish this up with this video, this chapter, when we're looking at creative thinking, thinking outside the box, discussions with our students. As we're working on discussing with our students, back to a very old quote. William James stated his belief that education trains students to become old fogies in the early grades by training them to adopt habits of convergent conformist thinking. In this day and age, we have to get our students thinking critically, thinking out of the box, if you will, thinking on their own, not what we think, but what they need to think and develop their own thoughts and their own schema. Divergent thinking is just the opposite of convergent thinking, in that it deviates from common understandings and accepted patterns. We have to allow our children to try things. We have to use discussion time to get our students looking in different directions and thinking in different ways. Sometimes those are called grand conversations. We all get together and we discuss. We talk about how things could be, how things are, what could we do to change some things, and we need to work on that with our children. A divergent thinker is one who generates many ideas, is able to break with conformist or set ideas. We too often want our kids to think the same way we do. Especially as parents, we want our children to think the same way we do. No, we need to train them to think for themselves. We need to suggest ideas that are new in the present context. Let them be original. Just think where we would be if our world had no scientists who had original thinking. And we need to let them contribute details that extend or support the idea beyond a single thought. In other words, we must be accepting in our classrooms of thought. We must also teach and train our children how to be out of the box thinkers, think sideways, turn things on their head, redo things however they need to do it without fear of controversy and without fear of being humiliated by us or by their classmates in class for their diverse thinking. Classroom discussion can be designed to help students develop the attributes of creativity. We need to put those questions in our lesson plans. I cannot emphasize that enough. We have to look and we have to think about what we're teaching. In a technique similar to brainstorming, the teacher can ask students to generate many responses to a single question as a means of helping them to become more fluent in many responses to a single question. Well, now that's a repetition, isn't it? I need to go in and take that out. And I think I will do that right now. Let's see. Question as a means of helping them to become more fluent. I think we need to stop right now. I'll have to fix it later. It is readily apparent that the methods described for improving problem solving involve critical thinking, and that both involve the use of higher level thinking processes. We need to start this. I realize that some of you are secondary teachers, a couple of you are PE folks, but we need to start this in first grade, kindergarten, first grade. We need to start very young teaching our children how to be critical thinkers. I want the PE guys, think about this. You're coaching a team. You're doing whatever you need to do to coach that team. You need your students to think on the fly, to be observant, to know what's going on, to think themselves instantly in or out of a situation. You need to get them to think critically. We all have to do this. Too often we look at the English teachers as the only ones who should be teaching reading or literature or grammar. We're all reading and literature and grammar teachers in our classrooms. We think math teachers are the only ones who teach mathematics. No, we teach mathematics all the time. You teach a lot of geometry in PE without even the children realizing you're teaching geometry. We teach all kinds of things in our different disciplines. Whatever we call it, the goal of aiding students in developing better thinking skills is an integral part of any classroom discussion. We have to teach our kids how to get themselves into and out of situations. We need to teach them how to think critically, how to work critically, and how to go about their day-to-day lives. So, should we respect and develop our own and our students' capacity to ask questions and suggest new ways of solving age old problems? We need to get our students asking questions as well as answering questions. We need to teach them how to be thoughtful questioners, not just regurgitate information that we're handing them. A creative thinker is one who proposes new problems, raises new questions, and then suggests solutions that are characterized by fluency, flexibility, originality, and elaboration. The solutions result in a product unique for that individual in those circumstances. When I was chair of the School of Ed, and I would have another faculty member come to me and say, this is wrong, we need to change this, we need to adjust that, we need to do this, we need to do that, basically looking at me and saying, what are you going to do about it? My initial reaction to them was, what's your solution? What solution do you have? Don't come to the teacher or to the principal or to the chair and say, this isn't working, fix it. We all need to be thinking critically. We need to be working toward common goals and multiple solutions, and then agree or decide what works best for everyone. Discussions to encourage imagination and inventiveness. We need to get the kids thinking, what if? What if this happens? What if that happens? Imagine living on an island with no electricity. What would your life be like? What would your life be like if you see those? I saw this the other day on Facebook. You see those things, they show you a cabin next to a stream and whatever. Could you live here for a month with no internet access and no whatever for $1 million? And everybody says, well, yeah, if you're going to give me $1 million, well, okay, now you're stuck in your house. Yes, you have internet access, but what if we took the internet away? How dependent are we on the internet? What could you find to do? What could we do to make our school a better place? What would you do if you were the main character in the story? How would your actions change the ending of the book? One of the questions, again, I go back to being chair of the School of Ed. One of the questions I would ask someone who had applied for a position, an opening that we had when I interviewed them was, we think we're pretty good. What are you bringing to the table to make us better? Where do you see yourself fitting in with us 5 years down the road? Think critically, think out of the box, think down the road, think sideways, turn something on its head. For many reflective teachers, these questions are as important as those that test students' recall of information or understanding the main idea, because this gets the kids to what we call query down. They're querying, they're not just answering a question, they're thinking critically, they're deepening their thought processes. We're going to stop right there with the slide, with this PowerPoint. We will start the next discussion in a later time. And I'm still hoping that this is finding you healthy and happy. Use your hand sanitizer, wash your hands, don't hoard the toilet paper. And for whatever you do, please, please, please stay safe. Stay wherever you need to be, but please stay safe.